Welcome, Nikki Gordon. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on Provocateurs.
That's all right.
So yeah, this is only your second ever podcast.
Yes, I'm a bit of a private person. Yeah, not very social media.
Yeah.
Not me really, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get the word out there more about the new business. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And you're like can we even call you a grandfather in our industry? 3 decades. You're nearly there.
Yeah, nearly there. Yeah, it's been a long time. God, it's gone really quick as it goes. Yeah.
How did it all start for you in nightlife, events and this world?
So I started doing little parties in Romford, just for my mates, and they were okay. A couple of hundred people. It was just like having a laugh, messing about. And then a friend of mine said, "Oh, I've got this vodka company who they want us to throw a party for them and like a sponsorship thing." So I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So we got the back room of the aquarium in London, and we put a little party on, and it was really good, really funny, and it ended up being in Mixmag. They'd done a 2-page spread on it. And then from there, things just snowballed and progressed, and I got more into it and took it a little bit more serious. But I think, as always, things start just by, oh, let's throw a party for your mates and whatever. It was a really funny event. Like everyone was like doing liquid acid, and it was just weird. Someone pissed up my mate's leg in the middle of the dance floor off their heads. It was just a bit weird, yeah. But
Lots
it was funny.
Stuff like that happened in the aquarium.
Yeah.
It was one of those
I can't
venues.
believe people got in that pool. Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
I was always like, what is in that pool?
Yeah. And then things snowballed from there. Yeah. Do you want me to just go on?
Yeah. Did you stay on like the promoting side? Because you've worked with some massive brands, haven't you?
Yeah. So I think from there, I got my first job at Neighbourhood. So Neighbourhood is in West London. It used to be called Subterranean. It was owned by Ben Watt, who is in Everything But the Girl, that band.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else, a couple of others were in it. So my mate was working there at the time, and he said, "Oh, do you want to do a party there?" So we hired the venue out, me and my mate, and we booked the Shapeshifters to DJ. They'd never DJ'd before, and it was their first ever gig, because I knew that they were going to have a number one, Lola's Theme. It was. So Lola's Theme was going to go to number one on a certain date, because we all just knew it was a big tune. So we booked them, knowing that it's going to be a really big party, like a smart move. So we sold out. Lola's Theme went to number one on the day we had the party. It all worked out. Shapeshifters turn up. Simon, the tall one, don't think he could DJ at the time. He's a good producer, but he couldn't DJ. The little one, who's not in with Shapeshifters anymore, he was doing most of the DJing. But it was still like a great night. So from there, we done another party with Little Louis Vega. Again, that was good. And then I think from there, I got offered a job running the promotions there. That was like my first serious entry level to running it. So because I've always done graphic design, always done creative stuff, I ended up in Neighbourhood. I was like the booker. I've done all the marketing, done all the graphic design. So I was doing 3 or 4 people's jobs.
Pretty standard for our industry, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. But I mean, the pay weren't amazing back then, but it was just a great lifestyle. And I don't know how old I was, 23, 24, I can't remember. And it was just partying all the time. But always went to work in the office, like Monday to Friday, done the job. Then, and then I booked Mr. C for a party there. And Mr. C obviously had the end at the time. Leo and Bushwacker, Leo partner in the end. And I thought I'd be good to book Bushwacker as a support act as well. So I was trying to make that happen. And then I went to Ibiza with my mate on a little lads one. And we was at the beach and we'd been out wherever, and we'd hired out this Jeep. And there was these two girls sitting behind us. We could hear them talking. They was going back to the same place we were staying. So just being really polite, I said, "Oh, do you want a lift? We're going that way." They're like, yeah, cool. So literally known them 5 minutes. So we've all got in the Jeep. Two girls got in the back, driving down this motorway. It's all like dirt track back then because it's so long ago. And for some reason, we've gone on the other side of the road because we thought we was in England, and we have had a head-on collision, wrote off both the cars. So it was like the poor girls in the back who we've known for 5 minutes didn't have seatbelts on. They've hit the headboards, got carted off to hospital. For some reason, me and my mate was okay because we had our seatbelts on. So I just felt terrible. So we've got out of the Jeep. The other geezer and his girlfriend's got out, and it's Bushwacker. We've smashed into Bushwacker's car, wrote off the car. I was like, I can't believe this is like happening. And my mate, who was driving the Jeep, he'd been up for quite a while. He's gone, "Look, you're gonna have to deal with this because I'm gonna get nicked." So he's run off into like this desert and just run off, and I'm just standing there, and I was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" So I was like, I didn't say anything to Bushwacker, who I was, because we didn't know each other at the time. He was on his way to a wedding. There was this big wedding happening. So all these DJs were going to the wedding because they're all pulling up on the side of the road. All these superstar DJs, the vicars pulled up to see what's going on. Yeah. So I've stayed there, dealt with the police. The man who owns the Jeeps turned up. So I've smoothed it all over. And back then things were quite relaxed. The police were quite relaxed. They're a bit naughty.
Oh yeah.
But back then, because it was quite quite hedonistic, I suppose. So it was expected. People did stuff like that, crash cars, and people were out their heads and whatever. So it was actually all right. So the man who owned the Jeep was giving me a lift back to the apartment where my mate's now waiting. And we were like, we've got to get off this island like before we get nicked. So we left the island. Bushwacker didn't take the gig in the end. Well.
Did you know who you were by the end of it?
It ended up in Mixmag. So back then, Mixmag done a thing called guest list, bad list. So the guest list was all the good things happening. The bad list was all the naughty things happening. So I ended up being someone told Mixmag what happened. It had a picture of me going like that with a T-shirt on saying I fuck for coke on the T-shirt. And it had the story about the car crash. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think that was feature in Mixmag.
Yeah, that was the first feature I ever had. Was a 2-page spread, and the second one was on the bad list. So yeah, Bushwacker didn't come through with the gig in the end. Yeah.
Did you ever book him again?
I've booked him. I think he might have played on We Are Festival or somewhere else, and I do remember going up to him in the end in like a couple of years after, going, "Oh, you're right," and he was actually all right. To be fair, yeah. He was fine.
What a story!
I think he looked a little bit wayward as well when the crash happened. Anyway,
but like you said, these things do happen in Ibiza, or have happened for sure. How many times have you been to Ibiza?
I don't know, to be honest. A lot. I don't really keep count. Used to go loads with my friends, and then when we had We Are Festival, used to go and meet like DJs and meetings and whatever. And then the last time I went was about 7 years ago for my stag do. We hired out a villa and we all went out there. That was horrible. We stayed up for like 5 days.
Straight.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the longest I've ever stayed up. Yeah. In the end, it was horrible. We went straight from El Row. I think El Row was at the zoo. We went straight from El Row to the airport. It was horrible. Yeah. It's giving me like PTSD. That. Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah. It was very.
It's different doing it in your 20s and doing it in your 40s.
It weren't nice. Yeah.
Not the one.
That was the last time I was in Ibiza.
And so you've been married for how many years?
So I think it's 7 or 8 years because that was my stag do. Yeah. Yeah. I think we had our 7th or 8th anniversary in November. Yeah. So we've been together about 24 years, I think. But we had a break for 4 years when I was a dickhead running loads of clubs. We got back together after I sort of stopped being a bit of a dickhead, as you do. Girls are more grown up and more mature than men. So she's a year and a bit older than me. So obviously with men, you're always a few years behind the maturity. Yeah. So that was that.
And you've got 2 kids that are coming on to that teenage age now, haven't you?
Yeah, my daughter's just turned 14. She's a little fucker, Edie. She started going raving, all the under 18s rave. It's really weird because I'm now I don't go out. I only go out just to keep a tab on things. I'll drive wherever. But now it's like I'm getting her guest list and I'm taking her and I'm waiting outside in the car for her, or going to sit in Pizza Express waiting for her to come out of these raves. It's very weird. My boy is 16. He's just started college. He's the opposite. He's not into raving or anything. He likes a bit of live bands and stuff. He's doing his A-levels. He's a little angel. And my little girl's a fucker. Yeah.
You're going to have some
Karma,
fun there
though.
in the next
He's
couple of years. Yeah,
She's like me when I was 22, 23.
You're going to be a best friend in a few years.
I hope so. Yeah. But our relationship's good. She just takes the piss out of me a lot. Yeah.
Best way to be.
Yeah.
So what's your take then on what everyone's saying about the younger generation not going out as much?
I think they are going out, but they're just doing different things as well. I don't see the after party scene, what they're doing. I think they're just maybe going out, doing their thing, a lot of day parties. I mean, back in the day, we used to go out on like a Friday and we'd come home Monday morning because we'd be raving Sunday night. Don't really see any of that, but I think kids, I don't know if they're drinking less because our bar spends at Utopia are like £33 net, which is high. So they are drinking, but I just think they're doing things differently. I think things have changed. There's a lot of, how do you say, you've got like the wokeness generation and a lot of different generations, and I think they're just doing things differently. It's fair play. That's evolution.
Yeah.
And you can't stop it. And you just got to accept it. And as if you've got a business,
adapt.
You adapt. Yeah. I think the clubbing scene's healthy. I think if you're suffering, then just pivot and do something about it. Get a bongos bingo in if you've not got big superstar DJs. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really moan about it. I think it's all about adapting. You know what you're walking into. Like if you buy a club or you start something, that is how the industry is. Yeah, and it's evolved, and you can't stop it. It started off all peace and love years and years ago, and it's now the complete opposite. Things have just drastically changed. Yeah, like DJ fees are high, but that is human nature. If you're a DJ or an agent, that's what you want. If I offered you 10 grand to play someone else's records, what would you say?
No, right.
There you go. I would as well. So, yeah, I'm not really one for moaning about DJ fees because I understand it because, yeah, it's human nature. So what do? We just adapt. Yeah.
That's a powerful thing to say, isn't it? Just to make sure you're adapting.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the biggest change that you've seen in the scene over 3 decades?
I think from when I started, it was a bit more relaxed. You could just do whatever you wanted. It's all very Wild West. Wasn't serious. There was a lot more people into clubbing and raving. If you go back, I don't know, 20 years or whatever. I think moving forward now, you can see where things are more expensive. A lot of grassroots promoters are sort of getting their fingers burnt and not doing as much because they've lost loads of money. And you can see that DJs are probably doing villa parties to get really good money, private parties. I think promoters have gone from grassroots promoters. There's more promoters popping up with generational wealth behind them. So you're probably seeing a lot of promoters from wealthy backgrounds taking over because they got the money to throw at things.
And lose.
Yeah, although no one likes losing money, they're a bit more like, we don't mind it. So that's changed quite a lot. Yeah. I think it'll just, I suppose it will get worse. There will be more of that because not everyone can afford fees and whatever. So it'll be more of the wealthier promoters with the bigger backing. And obviously you've got them, and then you've got your Broadwick Lives. as well, who have got the backing of Rockstar Games. So they've got a lot of money. Yeah, and that's just how it is. But that's fine. You just come up creative ways. Utopia, the new place, we literally hired a venue out to promoters, so it lessens the risk. We don't book DJs, but we're not going to be open every Saturday and Sunday because of that. But it also means that we'll probably not lose any money because we've got no risk. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
And so Utopia is your new project that started last year.
Yeah. So we launched in June last year. Took about 9 months to build. Me, Mikey and Will, there's 3 of us. Mikey and Will were the directors, and then they brought me on board, give me some shares. So I've just been running it as my own business as well. It's been all right so far. I think we've done about 12 events, and we've had one shit one, and that was New Year's Eve. Just didn't work, but that's how it is. Yeah. So the tickets didn't sell. We had not as many people in as we expected. So we just cut all the costs down, and we still made money because we just adapted. And that's how it is. Yeah. So I'm not going to say it's all like rainbows and glamorous. Yeah. We've had one rubbish event so far. That's real life. But that's quite good going, really. But because we're not open every week, then obviously you're going to have 1 or 2. Whereas if you're, I don't know, Ministry of Fabric, it's going to be constantly like that. So yeah, it's all right so far. Yeah.
And why Utopia Warehouse now?
I think there was definitely a gap in the market. So we was all seeing festivals are losing a lot of money. So if you've got a 10,000 cap festival and you're on grass, the costs associated with that, the planning, the building, the DJs, the toilets, all of that is really hard to make money. We've only got to have one mishap and you can lose hundreds of thousands of pounds. So Utopia's 4,500 capacity. It's like 4 different spaces. You can run all spaces together, 4 different sound systems to have a festival vibe, or run them individually. So I was like saying, look, I think this year, 2026, a lot of festivals, they've had enough and they're going to just make more money downsizing, halving their capacity and coming to us. So you could seeing that happen at the moment, as well as doing events for 2,000-3,000 people. I think I reckon we'll do about 40 events for our first full year this year, which is quite good going. Yeah. And then year 2, a few more. But at the moment, I mean, there's only like 3 of us really working on it full team. I haven't got like a marketing team, social media team. We're all like just pitching in. So it'd be nice when there's regular events and there's regular money to like build the team and then really go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment we're getting by and it's all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about UK festivals. You were involved in We Are Festival for a while.
Yep.
What happened?
So me and my best mate, what is it? It's 2012. We'd always wanted to start a festival. It was he brought on a friend of his who's done really well trading, and we managed to get £500,000 investment put in the bank account, and we just gave up our jobs at the time, got a little office in Essex above a hairdresser's, and just started it. And we, as a few months went on, we then took on 2 other people, and we just went for it. And we had. There was a gap in the market at the time.
I was about to say 2012.
There was no festivals
wasn't really,
in Essex.
You had like what was that one? V Festival.
Yeah, V Festival, which was like Beyonce.
Yeah.
It wasn't what we'd done, yeah. So we just see a gap in the market. And we ended up doing, I think we had like 13,000 people. Broke even, didn't lose any money. Well, actually, we made about 15 grand, but we spunked it in Ibiza. We went to Ibiza to celebrate. We spent it all. So yeah, it was a good start. With all these things, it costs an absolute fortune to run. And then year 2, I think we decided to go to 2 days. And at that point, me and my business partner, we were we were flying all over the world, like going to festivals, Las Vegas. I think if you just like putting a kid in a sweet shop, when you've got that money in the bank, and we was just reckless, spending money, stupid amounts of money, going out, staying up for days, and just everything was excessive. And I look back now because I was never thinking straight. I look back now and go, oh my God, we could have been really successful, but we was just reckless. Yeah. So the festival went to 2 days, and I think we was trying to do 30,000 people. And I think we lost like £1 million on the, and I didn't even know. So like me and my mates are the directors, he was doing the numbers, the production, I was done all the creative, the social media. And stupidly, I never really took much notice of the numbers because I was always boozing, but getting the work done, I was like, all right, you just get on with that, I'll get on with this. And I remember we was walking around the festival, and I think I went to him, yeah, like, do you reckon we're going to break even on this one? And he was like, I think we're going to drop £1 million. And I was like, and I just couldn't work it out. I was scratching my head, yeah. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then so after that, you have pressure from your investors. Mm-hmm. Everything was going a bit downhill. My best mate, who I started it with, we was both in charge, but he wanted to be the person in charge. So our friendship just disintegrated. He went behind my back, went to the investors, said, look, I want to be in charge. Instead of having a face-to-face with me, saying, look, this is what I want. And we went behind my back, and it all just, fell to bits really quickly. And it got really nasty. Just trying to think what happened. We were sitting round a table, and they said to me, right, it just got to a point where they were like, right, we want you to leave. So, we're going to take your shares off of you, and we just want you to leave. And they were quite aggressive about it because it had got to the point where we were being really horrible to each other. And they said to me, look, if you want to take it to court, then you're going to lose, because this was the man who put all the money in. He said, I've got more money than you, so you're not going to win, which is true, because if anyone knows, when you go to court, if you haven't got the money, things just get dragged out, and you get to a point where
they will rinse your money.
Yeah. So that was when I was like, all right, if you're going to be like that, okay. So I thought, if you want to play like that, that's you like giving it the big one. So in the end, it got really bad, and a couple of my mates just literally, I suppose they put pressure on my now ex-mate, and I wouldn't say kidnapping, because that's not a horrible word, but it was sort of forced into a position where they just had to concede. They let me keep my shares, and they actually gave me a load of money compensation, which was a lot of money at the time as well. And then we just parted ways. And that was like 2014 by now, I think. Yeah.
Was that an easy decision for you to play the game that way?
No, it was, I think when you invest and build something like that, and you're so emotionally attached to it, that was like my world was ending at the time. And my kids were like really small as well. So you think, you're taking my business away from me. So I look now and I just see it as it was just a logo and a load of people in the field now. Doesn't mean anything to me. But because at the time I made it and it was my baby and I'd done all the creative, I was devastated. Yeah. And I was, after that, we all walked away, and that was the end of it. But I couldn't let it go. So I was, for the next 3 or 4 years, I was behind the scenes. I was very spiteful. So I was doing things what was making it lose money. and they didn't even realise it. And it went on and it lost loads of money because I knew my shares were worthless. So I was just being horrible because I was still emotionally attached to it. I was just very spiteful. Yeah. So I helped it along really, and it went bust a few times and lost a few mil. Not all down to me, but I sort of pushed it, helped it along. But that's just, I can't help it. If I feel like I'm a really nice person, but if I feel like I've been hard done by or someone's took something of mine, I don't know what it is. I'm like, ooh, I'm very, not very nice. Yeah. But I sort of, it's like, in a way, you're having all this bad luck. Like, this festival's having all this bad luck, but they don't realise why they're having this bad luck. Yeah. So that's
from a front-facing perspective, how many years was it going ahead and then it cancelled last minute? Was it 2, 3?
Yeah, I think it got sold. It got sold like, I think a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago, it got cancelled. So they then lost more money. And then my best mate who was left running it, they sacked him because they found out what he was getting up to. So then the dude who put all the money in, I think he ended up running it. And he made it go bankrupt because he didn't know what he was doing. And then he is quite clever, really. All the shareholders didn't get any money. He was very clever. I think he took this is what I think happens, what I can see on Companies House. It looked like he took about £1 million from someone as a loan. But really, it was, right, you give me £1 million and on Companies House, I'll put a thing called debenture. So if I don't give it back, you are entitled to take the festival off of me. But that way, no shareholders get any money because it's a loan. It's very clever. So he took a loan knowing that you can't give the loan back, done whatever he done with it, and then defaulted on it. And then it got transferred over to new operators. So back then I had that hump a little bit that I should have got something out of that because he took a load of money. But these days I actually think, no, that was a bit of your fault and you made that sort of happen, how it all unfolded. I've been like clean and sober 5 years. So I think with clarity now, and everything back then was all very like emotional, reckless and where now I'm very acceptable of my actions. So I'm like, no, I made that happen. So you're not entitled to nothing. Yeah. Which is, I like looking at things that way. Like, you got to take an accountability. Yeah. But back then I was like, yeah, that's mine. And now I'm like, no, you actually probably spent a lot of that company's money at the time and you didn't help things. So yeah, that's how that unfolded.
You own that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your biggest lesson from that time?
I've learned you just can't work boozing and whatever else everyone gets up to in the industry. You can't work like that. I done quite well, really. Had quite a good career so far. And I look back and that was probably, I was always pissed or out and not coming home for days. So I was probably running at 20% of what I can really achieve. And since like 5 years where I stopped all that, my productivity is like unreal and accountability and getting stuff done. Yeah. So I just think you can only work like that in that industry and then it will catch up with you. And you'll probably see a lot of, I'm 48, there's probably a lot of 50, 55-year-olds in this industry who are now completely more wellness, more everything like that. Yeah.
What was the turning point for you in going sober?
So I got diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, and this is very strange. I don't know. I've got quite good willpower. So the day I got diagnosed with it, that day I just stopped. And that was it. Just stopped. Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? From going like living Thursday to Monday, just boozing and up for days and whatever for like 25 years or whatever. And I just stopped. It's mad, isn't it? Just stopped dead.
Did you ever crave it again?
Obviously it was very difficult for maybe, I don't know, 6 months. Now it doesn't even cross my mind, but I think 6 months into it, I then had a really big operation, which was I had to have my rectum, prostate. It was called a pelvic exenteration. They rip you open like a carcass and they take your insides out. And it's one of them things where I just had COVID as well, because COVID had come in. So they basically said to me, your chances, because you've had COVID and we're going to do this operation, your chances of waking up are 50-50. So you're like, that sort of, you just forget about booze and whatever, because you're going into that and then waking up, thankfully, from that operation. I was in hospital for about 5 weeks on like morphine, fentanyl. It's awful. Like just super paranoid. And it's the last thing you're thinking about, then booze and whatever. Because but them the fentanyl and the morphine, like it's like a feeling, when like people get super paranoid where they've been out and they're like, it's damaged them. It was horrible. There was a nurse come in. So there's this thing called intensive therapy, and they abbreviate it IT. So this nurse come in, she said, oh, I'm from the IT department. And I was super paranoid. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm laying here, I can't move. You've got someone coming from the IT department, like the computer department, to do whatever to me. It was, and now I look back and I just laugh. But in my head, I thought someone from the computer department was coming to like do whatever and give me injections. Yeah, just fucking weird. Yeah, that is fucking funny. Like, what the fuck is going through your head? Yeah. Wow. So that was, the first big operation I had. So I've got stoma bags, one for the poo, one for the wee. And I've had 5 years of operations treatment, and it's in a good place now. I have chemotherapy every 2 weeks, and that stops the cancer aggressively activating and killing me off. But I've got to that point where I'm just very fortunate. I've seen like about 10 friends and family the past 5 years die of cancer. Awful. So I'm just, although I've lost a lot of my insides and I am how I am actually very grateful. And in a weird way, I don't know why I was thinking about this. I probably would have, if I didn't get cancer and stop, I probably would have died from that awful lifestyle a lot quicker. Mm. So I look at it as cancer sort of, it's saved my life, even though it has nearly killed me a couple of times and probably will kill me off in maybe 10 years, I'm hoping. Not hoping, but having a good run. Yeah. It sort of saved my life, weirdly, because that lifestyle, you can't get away with that lifestyle. Not when you're going into your 40s and your late 40s. You will have a heart attack, a stroke. Yeah. So I like to look at it that way, in a positive way. Yeah. Yeah.
And why was drink fundamental for you to start with cancer treatment?
I think any booze, red meat, anything that's really not good for your body is not going to help the treatment you're having. So I just cut out everything that I thought was really bad for me. And yeah, booze is obviously, it's an inflammatory booze. Cancer is an inflammatory disease. My wife's a nutritionist, so she was like, look, you got to stop that, do this. So that's what I've done. So I mean, I don't even like non-alcoholic beer now. I'm on oxycodone, which is hardcore opioids. There's like an epidemic in America. They crush them up and they sniff them. It's like really bad. So I've got these, which I take, and that stops a lot of the pain for me. And it actually gets me up in the morning and gets me going. So I take them, and that makes life a bit easier. But my body, if I don't take them now, I get cold turkey from them. But it's like an ends to a means. Mm. And I'm like, it's one of them things with cancer. It's like, you've got to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. So it's just, a lot of the stuff that's, the booze. Yeah, if I have a non-alcoholic beer and it's got a 0.05, so hardly anything, I will wake up feeling awful the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know whether that's because of all the treatment I'm having, or my body just doesn't because it's not had it for 5 years, but I feel absolutely awful. It's really strange. Yeah.
And so did you have like a moment where you were considering coming out of the industry when you were going through your cancer journey?
So after the first big operation, I didn't work. I couldn't work for about a year and a half. Just wasn't possible with the recovery.
Massive, yeah.
From that sort of operation. You can't walk for months. It's horrific. So I think I must have spent 40 or 50 grand on treatment, vitamin C infusions, the oxygen chambers, really. And I wasn't working, so I spent a lot of our savings just getting by. And then from that, about a year and a half, I remember I went to see the owner of London East, and London East had just started for about 6 months.
Matty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was just getting loads of emails, and he just couldn't deal with the amount of emails he was getting. So he said, "Oh, do you want to come on board?" So I said, "Yeah." So that was good for me because I hadn't been doing anything. So I was out of the loop for a year and a half. But as soon as you get back into it, it's like you was never away from it. So that was quite cool because it was just like everything just worked from my own laptop. And I remember I still had things hanging off me from the operation when I was doing it and whatever. And I'm still doing London East now. London East is doing really well. Still manage the bookings. And it's a dream, actually, because a lot of people want to be in there. So for a booker like myself, it's cool because a lot of people want to be in there. Just makes your life a lot easier. But
Got a good brand.
Yeah, it's a good brand. Yeah, but that's took 3 years to get it there. So, these things take time. So you do a lot of the hard work for a few years, and then things become easier. Yeah, so that was London East.
And then obviously now Utopia as well.
Yeah, and then Utopia, which we opened up, and that's going. I mean, we're in a bit of a quiet period because when we started in June, a lot of people book so far ahead for their events. They're booking up to a year in advance. So we're quite. January, February, March is a little bit quiet, but then Easter it gets quite busy. So done quite well. And then also I worked, or right now as well, I'm working on quite a cool concept. A friend of mine owns a brand agency, Under Armour, the clothing brand. So this has been quite interesting. It's quite challenging, the brief. Under Armour are hosting an event, a private event to 200 influencers, and it's going to be live streamed from a boxing gym. It's to launch their new female women's top called Base Layer, like a new top they're launching. So the brief was to curate all female lineup, have to be born or from London, and they have to represent North, South, East and West London. So North London has to be a female born in North London and plays UK garage. East London, born in East London, plays electronica. South London, born in South, plays drum and bass. And West, dancehall. So if you can imagine, obviously, it's very specific. And I mean, there's more male DJs out there than female DJs. Yeah. It's just the fact of their headliners, just how things are. So trying to get really good DJs specific to that brief was really challenging, but I actually really enjoyed it. It's one of them briefs you read it and go, Jesus Christ, like, it's probably easier to find a one-legged Chinese person from Scotland with ginger hair. It'd be easier. Yeah, it was very, So, but I've pulled it off. It's a great lineup. We've got ESC, a young UK garage girl for North, Jaguar for East London, Silver Sniper doing the drum and bass, great up and coming. West London, I think Izzy Bossy, sorry. And then on top of that, a headline act to finish the night off. So I've got Eliza Rose, who's amazing, like leading the charge, great producer, some wicked tunes. So it's come together really well. It's really strong, really powerful. lineup. Yeah, so that's been interesting as well. So it's nice to get them little jobs. They come up not very often because not a lot of brands are throwing money around to do that sort of stuff. So that was quite interesting to do that. Yeah, yeah.
And so female DJs, what do you think the market's like for a female DJ?
I think it's really strong. Because I've just done this project, I've had to really look more into that market. And there's loads. They're really great and they're doing it. And I understand it. Everyone wants the money. But it's like at Ministry was good. We had great budgets for marketing, social media. I think I went from We Are Festival, I went to Ministry of Sound. They phoned me up, said, "Oh, we've seen you've left We Are. Do you want to come and run the club team?" I was like, "Yeah." Like Ministry of Sound for me, it's massive. And whether you like it or not, if you're snobby, you're like, "Oh, Ministry of Sound, don't go in there because it's not like underground or whatever." But it's got the best sound system in the world,
and it's still here.
And it's still here, still doing bits. Yeah. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll have some of that." And I went there. Ministry was having a bit of a low because, like cycles of clubbing, everyone has their highs and lows. So I went there. I think that was like maybe 2015. I think I was there for about 4 years. Rebuilt the team. Team was great. Who we put together. I put together. Jodie, my booking assistant, was there already. She's the head booker at High and Universe now. And then we took on Sam, who is the creative director at Universe and High now. So all of the team have just gone on, smashed
venues,
it. Yeah, really done well. And yeah, I really love that they've gone from that. Yeah. I like to think I helped them a little bit on their way.
Yeah.
For that. And Ministry we turned things around, and some of the things and the ideas that we come up with, even to this day, no clubs are really doing it. We gave it a personality. Like I remember there was a video, there was something kicking off with America and Korea at the time. So we hired a Donald Trump lookalike and a Kim Young, whatever his name is, a lookalike. And we done a video, a movie of them coming together for a night out. And it was really good, really funny. And it connected with what was going on in the news.
Yeah.
That they were clashing, but we done it. They were mates, and it had like the tagline: "World leaders, Ministry of Sound, world leaders in dance music." Old Kim's turned up. And we bought this missile launcher. It was a replica. So if you get caught on the street with it, you get nicked for it. We done like this scene where he's hid it in his jacket, and the security have took it off him and gone like that. It was a great video, but stuff like that, you do not get any of that. No one's being that creative, and we smashed it back in the day. We done really well. Sam left the Ministry, went to Defected, and then he's at Universe and High. And Sam's done what we was doing then. You can see Sam's doing that now, and that's the only club that's just really smashed it. But yeah, they were good days, and I left there. Things always seem to not end nicely. I left there. I was just pissed all the time. I don't know what it was. I mean, when I was pissed, I was coming up with great ideas and we smashed it. I was a handful. Like me and my boss, the CEO, we butted heads. He wanted me to be more serious, more manager. But I was just like, we was making really good money. We was all just out down the pub all day because we were just smashing it. It got to a point where, and I look back now, again, at the time, I was like, I can't believe this. I hate you, blah, blah, blah. I look back now like, oh my God, how did I not get sacked 10 times for what I put you through? I'm very sorry, Mr. CEO, about that. Accountability. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't get sacked. So that ended. I done something. What did I do? I threatened someone. One of the suppliers was being really offhand with my staff, and he sent me a narky email, and I think I threatened to knock him out next time I see him, and he just sent it to the CEO. So my CEO was like, I've been waiting for this moment. Like, I've been waiting to get rid of you. Yeah, because you've causing me, like, although you're smashing it, you've just caused me so much, like, pulling his hair out. how I used to just be. So we actually left though on good terms because they were like, look, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, all right. So I left there on decent terms, to be fair. And there was a clause in my contract. Again, read your contracts. I was probably pissed when I signed it. Like, you can't compete, non-competing 9 months. Yeah.
Wow.
But I left there and I was, they were really good to me. So I was good for like 5 months for what they done for me. So they didn't sack me, but they was like, you know you're going, you can go on your own terms how you do this. I was like, all right, cool. But 2 months after, I went to work for Rinse anyway. I just flew under the radar. They probably knew I was working for Rinse anyway. But even now, I've got a great relationship with Ministry. I let them use Utopia for some filming. The managing director, Caitlin, back in the day, I think me and her started at Ministry on the same day, and she was an assistant to one of the directors. She's now the big cheese there. So she runs things, and we've always got on and that. So my relationship's great with Ministry. So yeah, I let them use the space for nothing. Opened the club up on a Sunday for them. They come in and filmed. So yeah, we got a good relationship. Like, if they asked me for anything, any help, I'll be the first to help them with anything. But yeah, they're now on the way up. You can see they've changed things around and they're doing really well. And you can see they're going to have a really good year. They're rebuilding the box, it looks like, as well. So yeah.
Would you say there's certain characteristics in our industry of people that come into the industry?
I would say there is a good mix of people. You've either got to be very entrepreneurial because it is that sort of business. These days, you've got to have a skill. So when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. You just like, what is it? Is it fake it till you make it?
Yeah.
We was just doing that. A lot of people done that. And then after like a couple of years, you sort of know what you're doing. I was helped a lot though, because I had my graphic design skills. So it was a bit easier and I was always like creative. Now these days you have to have a skill set. So you'll find back then where you'd have one person doing 3 people's jobs. Now, if you do social media, that's all you do all day. And that's how you've really got to run your business. If you are doing digital ad spends, that is separate to a social media position. A social media person is creative, comes up with ideas. Digital ad spends, you're switched on, you're focused, you're spending, you're moving money around. Again, companies don't appreciate that is a job in itself. They just go, oh, the social media dude can do that, girl, whatever. Doesn't work like that. You've got to have that specialist skill set. So things have changed and come on, but obviously technology, I don't even think Facebook, when did Facebook come around? I don't even remember using it like back in the day at Neighbourhood. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been, I don't even know what year.
Yeah, I don't know. But Neighbourhood actually, that ended. Yeah, that ended not, I have all these little weird endings. So Neighbourhood, I asked for a pay rise because I was doing like 3 people's jobs and we were smashing it, doing really well. We was doing like, if you go back 20 years or whatever, we was doing like 40, 50 grand bar spends.
Wow.
Yeah, on a Friday night. And we was only open till 3 a.m.
Epic.
Yeah, I think I asked for like another 50 quid a week. Nothing major. And the owner who's like, no. And I was like, all right. So I felt hard done by. So I come up with this thing called Get Paid to Party, where people put their guest list to you and they bring all their friends and they pay a concession and they get a £5 a head for bringing people. So all these people who, because I controlled the guest list, all the incoming emails, all these people emailing me, so I put them on the guest list, but they didn't have a clue about this paid for party thing. So at the end of the night, the manager was coming round with envelopes of money to go, right, give that to Barry or Sarah because that's their paid for party money. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I was just taking the money because they didn't give me a pay rise. So yeah. And then after that, I just got bored of it. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I just left. But again, that was my way of, I just felt hard done by. I was like, I can't believe you took the right piss out of me. So I was like, I'm going to take the piss out of you. yeah, and then I just left there. But that was yeah.
Do you think in your career people overlooked things like your drinking?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's all part of the culture back then. So the owner of Neighbourhood, he was like a bit of a playboy as well, and he was like, he actually encouraged it. He was like, look, yeah, we'll get a table, just get everyone in there, because that's how it worked, and that's how you got really friendly with all the artists, and you'd get pissed together. You'd end up at the artist hotels. Now you're giving the artist an extreme obscene amount of money, and you're getting pissed with them. Obviously, the artists, they're like your best mates, and that's just how it works. Yeah. Once you leave them positions, them artists, they're gone. They're not phoning you up. Do you know what I mean? That's just how the industry is, though. You got to just accept it.
Do you think it's still like that?
Yes, I would say it is like that, but it needs, if you're a booker working full time for a club and you're putting every Friday, every Saturday, you need to have them relationships. Obviously, it's down to you as an individual. If you don't drink, then whatever. But I do think it's all just part of the parcel. Yeah, tequila, this and that. I used to have to take the DJs out all the time. I hated it. I hate talking bollocks with people, just like cat chat. Like I remember Dimitri from Paris, Felix the Ass Cat. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, you just get smashed. You know what I mean?
Make it easier.
But it is, yeah, it's all part of the parcel. I'd now at Utopia, I drive down now. I'll go in for an hour when the event's happening. I don't need to be there. So I'm not changing the course of history or the future of me being there. And you learn that you don't need to be there. You've done your job. You've put it on. You let all the managers get on with it. And that's how it works now. But I don't have to, I don't need relationships with, I've got my relationships and boundaries, and people know what I do. And I don't need to be someone's best mate, because they know me. If I ask for something, or people are willing to help me because I've been around a long time and there's a mutual respect now. But yeah, it's yeah, it does.
You
it's just how the business is,
though. Yeah, like you've got to do it for some years, haven't you? To get to the point where
you can't do it forever because it will kill you. Yeah, or you end up. I've got a couple of people who used to run clubs. They're in mental homes. They've lost the plot. Yeah, does get you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of people that happen to.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, yep. There's one in a mental home now. He's a couple of years older than me. Few people actually had the same as me, cancer from excessive living. They unfortunately have died as well. So it's, it does catch up with you. You do think this is great, but you get to your late 40s, things start happening, it all catches up with you. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
As the body ages, it tells the story.
Yeah, and the brain's the worst, because once your brain's broke, you're not getting it back, unfortunately. Yeah, see that a lot.
So my last question for you, what would you say is the biggest success now for venues, or biggest thing that venues should focus on to be a success?
Very difficult question, because all venues are very different, and they have different ways they do their cash flow and their incomes and different deals. So if you've got your Fabric and your Ministry of Sound, they run everything, a lot of it in-house. Every Friday, every Saturday, they've got great budgets, and they've got like a great model, and they run their businesses. They know their highs and lows and their bad months, their good months. So for them, they know how it's going to unfold. For other clubs, it's a bit more difficult if you're in more, I suppose, if you haven't been around like they have. Promoters, things like the Steelyard. If you look at the Steelyard, they have more experienced events like Tranny Bingo or Bongos Bingo or brunches. Enough. If you look at their diary, you'll probably hardly ever see any raves as such. So they know they've probably gone through a bad situation with raves and parties and flipped it, because they're switched on. They know what they're doing. So you've got to really look at how people pivot. It's like, stop moaning and just react now. Don't wait for shit to happen. Yeah.
Right.
So I just do think, again, a lot of grassroots promoters are going to find it difficult this year. A lot of the Broadwicks, companies like that will snap up a lot of the talent, which is natural, but then try and work with them, like partner with them. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think it's selling out if a festival sells to somewhere like Live Nation?
Oh, no, I would have loved to sell to Live Nation. I remember after our year one, Live Nation approached us. We sat down with them and they were like, look, you're not really made a profit, so you're actually not worth anything. But if you want, we'll come on board and we'll help you run things. And we should have took that because we would have been all millionaires by now because it would have got run properly. But at the time, we were like, no, fuck off. You know what I mean? We know what we're doing. Stupid. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about creating something that is worthy of being sold on. And I think, yeah, it'd all be nice to retire. Would it be nice to retire at 50 and enjoy your life and enjoy your kids? People, yeah, look, you get into it for love, but at the end, you're a human being, and if you like me personally, I'd love to retire early, enjoy my life. And yeah, if I could sell Utopia to Broadwick or whatever and it made a few mil, that's what it's all about. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? There's no,
It's a job.
Yeah, it is a job at the end of the day. It is, and it's a business. And if you start a business without an exit strategy, you're stupid. Yeah. Have an exit strategy when you start the business. Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for today, Nikki. It's been amazing to have you on. Thanks for your openness.
No worries. There's probably a lot more stupid stories if you ever want to do a part 2. I
think we probably should.
Yeah.
We got a few in there.
Yeah.
So how can people connect with you and also with Utopia Warehouse?
I suppose the easiest way, you can DM me if you want. Nikki Fat Belly, I think it is. I used to be massive. I used to be about 15 stone.
Did you?
Yeah. That was my lifestyle. Yeah,
Wow.
The booze and whatever. And then obviously I had cancer, switched it around, and I'm I like to think a normal weight now. So I used to call myself Nikki Fat Belly. Massive fat belly. Yeah.
Wow.
If you look at the pictures, if there's ever a picture of me 6 or 7 years ago, literally like this.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't have a heart attack. Very lucky.
We're gonna have to dig one of those out and do a little.
But yeah, if I can help anyone in any way, whether it's work, cancer, support, send me a DM.
Amazing.
I'm always happy. I think it's karma. What goes around comes around. Always happy to help other people because it will come back at me.
Amazing.
Yeah, at some point.
Thanks so much, Nikki.
No worries. Thank you for having me.